Hey folks, Marty Nowicki from Impact Snap. Today we're going to talk about my system for teaching and what you can do to start measuring your golf swings to improve, become more consistent, and hit it farther. Every year I'll see between 12 and 1,400 people coming up to Turning Stone or various places for golf instruction, and we always start at the same measurement point, the point of impact. I'm looking for a nice lowercase letter Y, and that would be drawn between both arms and the shaft of the club, and ultimately that helps me to determine, okay, what is this person's pattern like? If I'm hitting a wedge, I want to see the hands well past the point of the ball. If I'm hitting a driver, obviously the ball would be on a tee, but I would see that same geometric shape, lowercase letter Y, and that club would actually be swinging upward at that point. So the first thing I'm always looking for is that lowercase letter Y. The next thing I'm looking for, a word I keep using, that radius. The bigger the radius, the better the ball hitter you are, the more consistent you are. If I see someone with bending arms, bending wrists, I already know that A, they're a high handicapper, B, they're not very consistent because this requires timing every single shot. Once we have established this lowercase letter Y and this radius, the next thing I'm looking for is, can I make their backswing more efficient so that they can create more energy, more power, more distance? So with wedges, my juniors and all my students for that matter, I want them to feel like a robot. I want that distance to feel as stretched out as possible so that that makes it the easiest way to control your distances. If I see any bending of the lead arm or any twisting of the hands or combine that with bending, I know that it's very difficult, A, to control trajectory, control distance, and control the spin. When you maintain that radius, you're able to control distance, trajectory, and spin. Each shot should read very, very similar to the previous shot. A lot of people say, well, I don't want to have to think that much. Well, until you get really good, you do have to think that much. We call that being consciously competent, all right? For those people that just pull balls over and they're hitting, I call them unconsciously incompetent because the only feedback they have is, hey, what did the ball just do? Here, my students get the feedback of, okay, what does this look like? Oh, and yes, I'll enjoy watching the ball repeat itself time and time again. Again, any change in the length of the arm changes the path of the club, which will change the spin of the ball. It'll change the trajectory or curve of the ball, and that's why we want to max out that radius. Why that's so important going forward, because when we get to the big clubs like the driver, magically, the longer the radius, when the club points about 4 feet past the ball, those are your longest hitters. Bryson obviously is one of the hottest players on the planet. He actually starts as stretched out or as big of a radius as he can get, and he maintains that back to here, back to impact, and through. He does create a big load, but again, his goal when he hits the ball is he wants that as stretched out or as maxed out of a radius as he can. And we all see what he's been able to do over the last 6 months since the PGA Tour started back up. When you are looking for that full radius, just note that if I took a tee out and stuck it under my armpit, well, my elbow is not what's holding that in. It's actually my arm, the connection of the armpit. What that does is that keeps the shoulder in its socket while I'm trying to gain the radius. If for whatever reason I drop that tee, boy, now my shoulders are actually coming out of their sockets. That's not what we're looking for. So take a tee, put something right under your armpit. Note that the elbow is not what's keeping that in. It's just a slight amount of pressure up high at the armpit. That keeps the shoulder in its socket, and now I can really feel stretched out with that constant radius. Some people say, well, that feels robotic, that feels mechanical. Great. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to program golfers to repeat the same functions time and time again, and that's where consistency comes from. So if you're looking for consistency or you're looking for more distance, guess what? We learn feel through mechanics. And when you can feel mechanical and stretched out, and then you videotape that, what'll start to happen is the club will start to hit the ground near the same spot each time. And now if I hit the ground near the same spot, have the same radius, the ball will continue to repeat itself. For Impact Snap, I'm Marty Nowicki. Please hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell notification. That way when we put out more content, you get notified. Please leave your comments down below because that helps us to create more content for you. Like this video, our ratings go up, and more golfers like you will be exposed to our content. For Impact Snap, thanks for watching.